Welcome back to Raidercast, covering your campus and community news on the LWC app at youtube.com/LWC Raidercast. I'm Jake Saylor.
And I'm Jeannie Kim. Thank you for joining us for the monthly edition of Raidercast. We will begin with our most recent update on the SGA election that recently took place. The Student Government Association recently held their annual election. Keep watching to learn more and find out who succeeded in this year's election process.
As the 2016 spring semester comes to a close, so have the student government presidential elections, leaving the Lindsey Wilson College campus under new leadership. Though Brittany Dean and Mariah Stearns didn't come out victorious, they have high hopes and full trust in those who will be taking the positions.
For the campaign, I think in hindsight, I think I would have done several things differently. We were really worried about not being abrasive. Like, we didn't want to get in people's faces too much, and we didn't want to get on anybody's nerves. But in something like that, you kind of do have to be abrasive. But we ran into some blocks, like Brittany's grandmother had passed away, so she wasn't able to initially put as much into it as she would have wanted to. And, I had some personal things going on as well. But at the end of the day, I guess some roadblocks kind of got the best of us. I think that, Hannah and Morgan, they did a great job, and they're going to do a great job next year.
Current SGA president decided against putting efforts towards a re-election and decided to hand his gavel over to someone else that he feels confident will be able to take the job.
I just haven't done enough for my studies here. I've done good, I've performed well in class. I've done everything I've needed to here. But as far as my resume goes, I've been missing stuff outside of here, and I've been missing stuff within my media studies and communication program. And next year I need to focus on getting that if I'm going to get a job when I leave here. I think they have a lot of potential to do a lot of good. I've seen their platform. They have a lot of big ideas. It's ambitious, but if they do it, props to them, man. It's going to be good.
Hannah McCandless and Morgan Sexton will step in as president and vice president and have big plans for the students as well as the campus as a whole.
I think the thing that went the best in our campaign was finding people who had a lot of energy, that really enjoyed to talk to us and really were receptive to what we had to say. Because I know I'm a type of person that really feeds off people's energy, and Hannah and I had a great time just getting to know people. We were just really tired. And of course we received a little bit of negativity. Some of our posters got defaced, and there were some negative comments here and there just from people around campus. But we just had to keep reminding ourselves that we were trying to improve this campus, and we're trying to really fight for the students, and that's what it was all about. Oh, we have huge plans for Lindsey Wilson. We want to have some type of event, like once a month, a huge event. We are looking at maybe setting up and doing a movie on the quad, or maybe at the pool. We want to set up a market on the quad where people who make things like Speakeasy Coffee or other craftspeople in the community and on campus can come in and sell their wares and just have a great time getting to know each other. We also want to do a cookout like we did in our campaign, because that was a great time. Everybody loved that. We have a lot of ideas bouncing around. I can't express enough how much I respect everybody that ran in this campaign. Everybody had great ideas, great intentions, and did so much hard work in this campaign. And Hannah and I are honored that we were chosen to fill this position.
The student body looks forward to having McCandless and Sexton serve as their president and vice president for the following year. Congratulations, ladies.
We now cast the spotlight on the recent vote which dictated whether or not to sell alcohol in Columbia, now Webb County. Raidercast find out how it will affect campus and the community.
22nd of this year, residents from Adair County came out and voted on the decision of whether or not to sell alcohol and become a Webb County. Raidercast spoke to Lindsey Wilson College Vice President of Student Services and Enrollment Management, Dean Adams, to figure out how the vote will affect the campus.
Basically, it's this. There's no alcohol possession or use allowed at Lindsey Wilson College at any Lindsey Wilson College event, or students are not allowed to use alcohol at any time they're representing the college. Nope. I think that the student handbook will remain the same. I don't think that the wet dry vote being positive is going to impact the student handbook in any way. You know, I don't think it will have a big effect on campus. Let's look at it this way. And I've been asked that question a lot, actually, by people on both sides of the issue. But, you know, just think of the college, if you will, as a separate entity from the community with its own set of rules, laws, if you will. And we say no alcohol. So there's no alcohol, whether it would be bought down on the square or whether it would be bought in Bowling Green or Louisville or Somerset or wherever it may be. As Americans, one of the most precious things we have is the right to vote. So no matter what side of the issue I personally am on, I always think it's a good thing when students get involved in the body politic because they have a voice. They should have a voice. They're adults.
About 6,200 voters turned out, resulting in almost 55% voting yes and 45% voting no. Jessie Mason is a student that opposed the vote. She shared her opinion on why.
But I think there's a lot of negative consequences to it, and people sometimes forget about those, and I just feel like there wasn't very many benefits to it being a wet county. Everybody was talking about economic growth, but I didn't really see Columbia as just, oh, we'll have a wet county and immediately we'll, have more revenues. I didn't feel like that was going to happen. I came to this view because of the fact that there are a lot of negative consequences, and I feel like there's a line between just, having a drink with your dinner and then drunkenness, and I feel like as a Christian, the Bible is very clear that drunkenness is a sin, and I feel that line's crossed too often and too casually, and so that's kind of where my stance came in for the dry vote. For the campus, I think it's just going to create a lot more problems than there already are because of the campus rules of alcohol, and I understand that college students want to get alcohol, that they can get it here in Columbia without the wet or dry vote. But I feel like with ease of access becomes more problems.
Nick Haycraft is a student who agreed with the passing of the vote. He shared his opinion on why.
I'm definitely yes. So, everybody has all these freedoms, so why would a county like Adair County not be the exact same? It will influence it some. It's going to take time. It's not going to immediately, but over time it will work its way through the system and whatnot. Because I felt like, I actually had a voice, and I actually, the college was huge for making progress, just for progress. And I felt like whenever I went in to vote, one of the older ladies said, Lindsay came out to vote today, didn't they? And I just felt like, we as Lindsay kind of came out as a group and pushed for a good cause. It's based on user consumption and how they can manage themselves and their responsibility for it.
It's still about a month and a half before sales will begin. However, Columbia is optimistic as they embrace the chance.
Stay tuned and we will return with more campus and community news.
Hey everybody, this is Randy Burns and my good friend Blue Raider Bob, and Lindsey Wilson College is excited to announce the release of our first edition Blue Raider bobblehead. You can get your very own bobblehead for the low price of $15, plus feel great doing so because proceeds go to support the Alumni Walkway Scholarship Fund. So no matter where you live, if you're a part of the Blue Raider Nation, you need your very own Blue Raider bobblehead.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm Jake Saylor with Jenny Kim. Our first story takes us off campus and underground into the world of caving. Kentucky is famous for its caves, and when spring rolls around, it makes the perfect pastime for the adventurous student. Let's take a look.
I think it's just like the exploring factor too, because you don't really know what you're going to come up on. Maybe like there's nothing's predicted, nothing's mapped out, so it's just like it's a good time, and you never know what you're going to see, so it's the adventure part too.
I've been caving since I was really little with my dad, and so I've just kind of stuck to it until now.
Approximately like 1 year, because for California, we don't have caves like this here.
I usually take a little med kit because who knows what could happen. And definitely I wear a helmet. I always hit my head on everything. So I definitely recommend a helmet. Depending on the cave, you might need some rope and some climbing gear. And definitely lots of flashlights and batteries and a little bit of food.
And some good shoes.
I'd say this cave that we're sitting at is probably my favorite cave. It's one of the biggest ones that I've been into, other than Mammoth Cave. and it's just neat that it's not like gated off. We can kind of go into it whenever we want to with permission.
And we've probably gone in 10% of what we've actually explored in the cave. And as you can probably tell, there's like this huge calcium buildup, kind of like some limestone thing, but we're not exactly sure. And there's no bats in here, but we did cross some bats earlier.
We did agitate a few bats earlier. That was interesting. But we've been crawling through some tight spaces, over some big overhangs, some big drops below us to get to this point. It's been a lot of fun. Got a little wet at the beginning, had to trek through a little bit of a creek, and then we've essentially just kind of been rock hopping around on these big rooms. It was a lot of fun because it was really slick and muddy. And then once we went through a few more tight places, over some big drops, we ended up in this room, which is personally one of my favorite rooms. It's got all this buildup of stuff right here, sediment right here. It's all crystal clear. There's some like really cool ponds and stuff in here, little puddles that you can barely even tell that they're water. You just look at it and you just see like these little crystals. And it's not until like you splash some water at it that you can tell that there's actually like a little pool of water there. So it's really neat.
Can I ask you what you're eating?
I'm eating a pancake.
You never know what's going to be your last meal.
Yeah,
so
you always got to have a good pancake before you go into the cave.
It's required.
I don't know about you, but I always enjoy getting out into nature and taking a break from school and campus once in a while. Coming up right after the break, we'll bring you more campus community news, so stay tuned.
You know, they would talk about the city on a hill, the beacon on a hill, and that's kind of how I felt Lindsay was. It's, you know, this very metropolitan college, really, when you look at the student body and how diverse it is, in the middle of this rural community.
But it's certainly that school that is in the midst of that transformation to something way beyond what any of us could ever hope for or imagine a small college to become.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm Jake Saylor with Jenny Kim. We now bring you more campus and community news that you're looking for.
Majors all throughout campus have different ways of getting experience in their field. For the business department, this is Idea State U. Our own Raidercast reporter, Alex Mueller, attended in Idea State U and gave us the scoop on what happened.
Business students across the state of Kentucky have the opportunity to win over $30,000 to invest into what they hope can become their business one day. Idea State U is Kentucky's statewide business concept and business plan competition. Students from participating colleges will compete by showcasing tabletop displays and presenting their business concept to a panel of judges. The competition is designed to encourage innovation and entrepreneurship by rewarding over $30,000 in cash rewards. Winning teams will those be judges having the best new business concepts and business plans for proposed new ventures. Lindsey Wilson is not unfamiliar with Idea State U, however. Last year, 2 teams consisting of Lindsey Wilson College students were able to place at the regional competition, earning them an invite to the state competition. Renan took home 2nd place with his concept MedWatch, while Stephen Turner and Joseph Fawns took home 4th place for ThreadWatch. However, this year is special for Lindsey Wilson College as the school will host the regional competition for the first time. Ashley Miller, Director of Career Services, speaks on the growing relationship between Lindsey Wilson College and Idea State U.
Up until last year, it was actually only for public schools in the state of Kentucky, but they opened it up to private schools as well, and Lindsey Wilson College jumped on board. Through our partnership with the Center for Entrepreneurship and the Kentucky Innovation Network, we are now entering in our 2nd year in competition, and we will have another 3 teams compete this year.
Each one of these teams is required to submit a 60-second video promoting their business. In an effort to merge both the business and media study minds together, Al Efferstein's Entrepreneurs in Action and Stephanie Charter's Broadcast Journalism classes partnered together to create high-quality advertisements.
The videos last year impressed me. This year, we thought, let's get in on this partnership early since the students did such an amazing job last year just taking what the guys were wanting to do and rolling with it. And I think this year it was even better. The class was able to take very few details and really run with it, and it was fantastic. We appreciate the partnership. I think that you saw the benefits of it. I mean, they're quality presentations of what our students have done.
Lindsey Wilson College looks forward to building a long-lasting relationship with Idea State U.
I would love to continue on with our partnership. We went from not even being eligible to compete to being a regional host site. Would love to keep the regional host site for the next year and many years to come, as well as to grow how many teams we put into the competition. So I would love to continue on with the model that we're doing, but expand our student participation. And we are looking forward to our teams doing well and hopefully competing in state again this year.
Success and achievements like this don't only set LWC students apart from others, but allow for the business department to shine. Keep succeeding, guys.
Summer is right around the corner, so now it is time to hit the gym to get into shape. Lindsey Wilson College offers a variety of fitness classes to both students and the public. With classes for all levels, you can be sure to find something for you.
I'm over all of campus recreations, group fitness, and personal training. Right now at the Health and Wellness Center, we have a total of 22 classes. Usually we have a wide variety of different classes, so anywhere from high intensity classes to moderate intensity classes and resistance training classes, like water aerobics, Zumba, and some of our high intensity classes are insanity. Usually we have anywhere from 15 to 20 people per class, so it's a pretty good sized class. We're able to really target everybody that's in each class, so it's really valuable for that person who's going to come. They're going to get what they need out of the workout. Students get a chance to be in a really positive environment. They get a chance to engage in a healthy, active it's been a great impact. I love it when I see the consistency with community members and students who come to the classes and who are able to get a result, and they're really happy about it. So that's what keeps them coming, and it's really beneficial because living that healthy, active lifestyle is so important for the future. They should participate because we're supposed to exercise every day, and it's fun. So something that's awesome about Group X classes at Lindsey is that it's all free. I mean, I've been to tons of different campuses where they're actually charging students to use the facilities outside of their tuition. So one thing great is that we get to, they get the opportunity to have access to different classes for free with quality training. I mean, that's awesome. You can't really beat that. Okay, so what I've noticed at Lindsey and what has worked so far this year, classes range anywhere from early in the morning, and usually that's for the people who like to do yoga, and then we do classes in the afternoon and the evening. So usually when students are finished with class, they usually come. So that peak from 4 to 8 is really busy. I think one thing that I've noticed at Lindsey that is really special is being able to bring community members and students together during the classes, because a lot of times, because we're a community environment with students, there's that line of separation. But I think with our group fitness classes, we can have that balance.
That concludes this month's edition of Raidercast. We'll see you here on the LWC app and at youtube.com/LWC Raidercast. We'll be here covering your campus and community news. We leave you with photos from the LWC honors students who were asked to photograph a cultural event, the End It movement, and the SGA elections.
Thanks for joining us. This has been Jeannie Kim with Jake Saylor. Have a great day.